Hey, how's everyone doing today? In today's video, we are going to be reviewing Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. This review may be slightly adjusted if we ever get a big title update that the game honestly needs, fixing some of the issues that I will be going over. I'm going to break this video into 3 parts. Part 1 is everything I enjoy about the game, Part 2 being everything I dislike, and Part 3 will be everything that I feel could be changed to make this game a lot better, or added to the game for just missing content. Okay, starting off with Part 1, the things I really enjoy about this game. The graphics are great. The maps aren't too bland, they have a nice color palette to them. Infinity Ward usually doesn't do that in their maps, so that's a nice change of pace. I actually like it. Most of the maps look beautiful. They might not be the best, but they just look really good. At the same time, while being colorful, they don't seem overly colorful and cartoony like some other games. Next on the list, I like the weaponry, and more specifically how you have to use certain guns to unlock others in that specific weapon platform. It offers a nice variety to playstyle while forcing people to try new weapons out to unlock everything that they need. Moving off of weapon unlocks, the new way you unlock camos is also very interesting. As someone with limited time in the day to play the game, going for mastery camos in previous games was nearly impossible. But now I am more eager than ever to unlock the top mastery camo, Orion, as the challenges are streamlined, making the grind easier and less time consuming. I am also a huge fan of the Ground War playlist, not so much Invasion but just Ground War itself, as that is where I find myself having the most fun and spending the most time in game. Moving on over to part number 2 of this multiplayer review, the things I dislike about the game, we're going to start off with the fact that there is no red dot on the mini-map when firing unsuppressed weapons. This makes it so camping in buildings is a lot easier to stay off the radar and nobody will know where you're at, and it also makes everybody just play a lot slower of a game, and I'm not really into that. I like running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get 30 kills, 40 kills, and you just really can't do that in this game. You have to play very slow. Next up, we're going to talk about the user interface. It is a lot more complicated than previous games, and I bet it is part of the reason that the game is so buggy, because I lag constantly when swapping guns or changing loadouts. I'll try and switch up a gun in between lobbies and I just won't be able to access a single class. So I don't know if the way they have everything laid out just causes the game to lag and be more buggy. I'm not sure. Moving on to the maps. Spawns obviously always suck at launch, so eventually they'll get better and more logical. But overall, out of the 10 to 11 6v6 maps, I'm pretty sure there's only 10 since Museum got pulled from the list. I totally enjoy playing on 3 or 4 of those 10-11 maps. For Ground War, out of the 5 maps, I only really enjoy playing on 1, but I would say 4 of the 5 maps are decent, with one of those 4 being the really great one that I enjoy. That would be Sai. I just feel as if the maps are way too big and they were meant to be played with map pacings, how Vanguard had. I previously touched on that in my beta review video. I figured they were going to add combat pacings for the full launch, or they were going to trim down the map size, because I feel like the feedback in the beta was the maps were huge. I also feel like the time to kill is way too fast, and the skill-based matchmaking seems too rampant when playing 6v6, so I play Ground War and find it is much more relaxed, while also hectic action. You're not just shooting little Timmy no thumbs all game long. You actually find some combat, you're capping flags, you're doing things, but it's not jump shotting around every corner and, going super try hard like it's CDL League or something. And lastly, I think we can all agree on this, there's no combat record, leaderboard, or barracks, so you can't track any of your progress or unlock any calling cards or emblems via in-game challenges because they just don't exist, which in my opinion is pathetic for a Call of Duty game. We've had those staple items in every game since pretty sure COD 4 had it, but you couldn't really earn the most of the calling cards. Modern Warfare 2 really took the calling cards and emblems to the next step, but there was some decent ones in COD 4 if I'm not mistaken. And no leaderboards or barracks or anything like that. I can't see my kill-death ratio, which is honestly probably terrible right now, going for all these gold guns, and the time to kill just being terrible. There's no time played being displayed, there's no double XP token time being displayed. There's just a lot that's missing for some reason. Now moving over to part number 3 on the things that I would totally change, and if they were changed, I feel like this game could be, top tier. The first of which is going to be lowering the TTK, or giving us more health, however you have to state it. If we had more player health, gunfights would be more based on skill, and not who is holding down the line of sight or just camping up in a building, just waiting for people to run at you. And I feel like it would also encourage players to move around the map more, because if you run and gun, if you get caught with your gun up and you get a couple bullets on you, you're still going to have a couple shots to put on the enemy. If you land some headshots, you might take them down. It would just offer more skill. Next up, I would say to add combat pacing or just trim some of the maps down so 6v6 is faster paced. Most of the maps just have a bunch of extra space on the outside edges. If you just trimmed a bunch of that off and forced the gameplay to be in the center of the map, there's usually a building in the center of the map, and then there's acres of land surrounding each building, and that's where everybody spawns and you have to run all the way there. There's one map specifically where if the enemy team spawns there or if your team spawns, you literally have to go through 2 drawbridge doors from medieval times to get out of your spawn, and you can literally just spawn trap it the whole time, even in team deathmatch. So the maps definitely need to get reworked. Obviously the spawns need to get adjusted, make them more logical. Definitely have to tone down skill-based matchmaking, especially with the introduction of ranked play. You would think skill-based matchmaking could just get done away with, and those that actually care about playing competitively in a ranked fashion could play ranked play. A solid combat record with challenges and barracks is a must. I would like to see a UI overhaul as well, which may be in the works actually. I have a video on my channel that I will link down in the description if you guys want to check that one out. And the last thing would be red dots showing up on the minimap. I know that one's probably the most unlikely to get fixed, but one can hope. All in all, I feel like this game could be a stellar 9 out of 10 if Infinity Ward actually made changes that the players wanted. But until then, I give the multiplayer a 5 out of 10. Alright everybody, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel for more daily Call of Duty content. I have a bunch of videos planned for the launch of Warzone 2 and DMZ, so if you're interested in that, consider sticking around. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed and want to consider subscribing to the channel for more daily Call of Duty content, I'd greatly appreciate it. We'd love to have you around. If you want to see any more multiplayer gameplays, I got that right here. And if you're interested in any campaign walkthroughs, I got a playlist of that right here for you. Consider checking that out. Alright, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Take care.